Hey guys!
Hey guys!
We're back with another sci-fi review, this time reviewing the sci-fi original series Aftermath, Season 1, Episode 6, titled Madame Sosostris. If you haven't seen it yet and you want to avoid any spoilers, skip this video and come back later because everything we say from this point forward is going to be a spoiler. Okay, first up, I want to mention the title of this episode, Madame Sosostris. Madame Sosostris was a famous clairvoyant referred to in Chrome Yellow by Aldous Huxley, and later borrowed by T.S. Eliot in his long poem, The Wasteland. So this title, Madame Sosostris, is obviously a metaphor for Dr. Douglas, whose life was ruined by Josh Copeland, so she's not really a famous clairvoyant, but she is a clairvoyant. So really cool there. Make us research about the title. My God, Aftermath, come on. Speaking of research, Josh, Brianna, Dev, and the soldier, the female soldier, they went to Memphis Pacific College in search of Dr. Douglas's work. And what do they find there? A fetch.
Yes. So I actually knew a little bit about fetches because a long time ago I wanted to write a book about doppelgangers. So I did some research and that's where I came across fetch, which is an Irish legend or myth of basically a doppelganger. Like takes your appearance, but when it takes the appearance of somebody, they die shortly thereafter.
Yeah. It's very similar to a banshee. You know, you hear a banshee's wail, somebody in the family is going to die. You see a fetch, a doppelganger, it is an omen of impending death.
Yes.
But Dr. Douglas doesn't call it a fetch.
No.
She calls it an asswang.
Yes, an asswang.
That is a Filipino version of a doppelganger with a slightly different mythology.
Yeah, actually quite a bit. Yeah, a very different mythology. An asswang can take the form of a human, but can also take the form of a couple of other creatures, like a black dog and
a large bird,
large black bird, a couple other things. They're typically only seen at night, and
they love to eat pregnant women.
Yes, because apparently they have a particular liking for fetus.
Yes. So that was some stuff we dug into during the commercial breaks.
Yeah.
And that's one of the funnest things about Aftermath is all these different bits of different cultures and their folklore and their end of days myths and looking into that stuff. That is one of my favorite parts of the show.
Yeah. So at the start of the episode, they had the little funeral pyre for Sally, yeah, and decide that they want to go home. But before they can go home, they need to get supplies. But Josh wants to go get some research because he remembers ruining Dr. Douglas's career over a dissertation that she had that basically states every single thing that is currently happening. Yeah. So he decides to go track her down. And I'm like, it took them so long to get their daughter Brianna back. And then they're going to split up again? I mean, I realize there's a parent with each group, but I mean, I would be like, okay, let's go to the college, and then we'll go to the camp and get supplies, and then we'll go home.
So Karen, Dana, Matt, and Martin, they all go to the campground to loot some of the supplies there, and they run across some, they call them GRs. They're inmates.
Yeah.
That's really what they are. They're escaped inmates, presumably, because they're still in their orange jumpsuits. And oh my, you know what? It just really does not pay to screw around with Karen Copeland at all. Especially
really
not when it comes to her kids, because they're like, oh, that's your daughter. We
killed her first, or something like that.
Yeah, and like they really kind of goaded Karen, and then she executes all of them.
Yeah.
And then one of the things that bugged me is they don't. She says, they told me you were dead. No, that's not what they told you. They told you that they killed Dana.
Which is
that makes all the difference
it does
in
make
the world.
All the difference because, like, if I came across him shooting somebody and they said you were dead, I'd be pissed too. I'd be like, so you freaking executed them? It's not their fault.
Yeah. But also, I think with the adrenaline going, maybe you wouldn't remember exactly what was going on, and maybe not articulate what actually happened, what they actually said in the moment. But then Matt repeats it.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I'm like, no, that's not what they said. Come on.
They said they killed her, which makes all the difference, because if they told him that they killed me, I would freaking expect him to kill them.
I would have reloaded and kept shooting. It would have been terrible.
Yes.
And then I would have set him on fire and danced. There's just all kinds of stuff going on in this episode. The volcano is about to erupt, which Dr. Douglas is predicting. And apparently the dude on the radio is predicting. Like broadcasts he did years ago are actually predicting stuff that's currently happening.
Yeah.
And they're playing as it's currently happening, which is super. We knew something was going on with the radio broadcast. We didn't know exactly what. Now we do, and it's awesome.
It's nobody. I have the feeling that it's not somebody actually broadcasting it. It's this broadcast from the past is just somehow on the radio, and it's the only thing available, and it's predicting everything.
It's totally relevant.
Yes.
Devon is possessed. Now, we've seen loads of skinwalkers. I can only remember a couple of cases where they had the white eyes. I think the other skinwalkers that we saw earlier in the seasons, they didn't have white eyes. And so this skinwalker, I think it's one that just keeps kind of following Brianna, and it took Devon out in this episode.
Yes, or Devon took Devon out.
I'm convinced that it's the same one
it's
every time.
It's a particular demon, and it is after Brianna for some reason.
Yeah. That's my theory, because I can only remember the ones with the white eyes being after Brianna.
Yeah,
the other ones I think were normal.
Her. Yes, yeah.
The first one that took her and flew off, I don't think it had white eyes.
Yeah, I don't recall. I don't remember.
And the one at the dinner table, I don't think it had white eyes in the very first episode.
Yeah.
But the preacher did, Devon did, and the one that killed Sally. He was a feverhead, and then he got possessed, and he had the white eyes, and it's all near Brianna.
Yeah.
I'm convinced something's going on there.
Yeah, this particular demon is hunting her.
Devon, he fights it off, and he fights and fights and fights until eventually he has to take his own life in order to protect Brianna. The very last thing I want to mention is Dr. Douglas tells Josh Copeland to listen to the voices in the night. So might Josh Copeland become a clairvoyant?
Perhaps.
Super excited for things to come. I think that's it for this video. If you have anything to add, please let us know down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this review, and we really hope you did, tell us by dropping a like on it and subscribe for more reviews.
And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.